Good evening and welcome to Northwell Health's Celebration of Excellence. My name is Brian Lally. I oversee Northwell's foundation and I have the honor of hosting this evening's event. The Celebration of Excellence is Northwell's annual convocation to recognize and install the best of the best, the professors and chairs who, thanks to our generous benefactors, are discovering the new knowledge that will make our lives and the future better. I'd like to acknowledge some of our volunteer leaders, beginning with Northwell Board Chair Michael Epstein. We have many members of the Health System Board and Feinstein Institutes Board participating tonight, and we are most grateful for the extraordinary commitment to our mission and shared vision to create a better world through excellence in healthcare. To get us started tonight, please welcome Northwell's President and CEO, Michael Dowling.
Good evening, everybody, and I would like to say to begin with a special welcome and a special congratulations. Congratulations and a thank you to all of the donors and, of course, to the newly endowed professors and chairs. As you all know very well, endowed support is extraordinarily important to the success of the health system. It promotes innovation and excellence. It enhances research, new discoveries, new cures. It facilitates the improvement of our education and teaching. And it helps us recruit the best. And at the end of the day, because of all of those things, it improves our ability to provide excellent care to patients and our families. It helps us enhance our capabilities. It helps us get better. So for all of you who made this possible, my special thanks. We look forward to the future with optimism and hope. Because of the talent we have, we know that tomorrow will be so much better than yesterday. So I thank you very much, and my congratulations to all. Thank you.
Tonight, we're celebrating the profound impact that you, our generous benefactors, have on Northwell Health's ability to solve the critical medical challenges of our time. Your vision in creating these endowed funds provides the financial stability that allows Northwell to make strategic investments in this rapidly evolving healthcare environment. Since we launched Outpacing the Impossible, 12 new chairs and professorships have been established by generous donors. Importantly, these endowments have helped us recruit and retain the cream of the crop in research. These gifts are having an immediate impact. So this evening, Dr. Larry Smith, Dean of the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine, will conduct the formal installation of our new chairholders. And following that, we'll hear a wonderful conversation I was fortunate to have with Margaret, Crotty, and Rory Riggs, along with Maureen White, whose chair they recently endowed. It's best to hear directly from the source when possible, and tonight we're going to hear directly from this distinguished group. What started as a wonderful idea from one of our researchers has become a new tradition, as these extraordinary people reflect on the honor and value of these endowments to them. Take a look.
Dear Carol, it is with humility and deep gratitude that I write to you and your family foundation for having established the Carol and Arnold Wolowitz Professor in Cancer Research Endowment. Your generous contribution to cancer research, especially at Northwell Health, could not have come at a more opportune time.
I am humbled by the opportunity to convey my profound gratitude to Carol Pittelman and the Litwin Foundation, and to Barbara and Donald Zucker for preserving a leadership position in Alzheimer's disease research at Northwell Health in this endowed professorship of geriatric psychiatry.
Along with our department, faculty, residents, and administrative team, I am grateful and indebted to the Dooley Family Foundation and to Barbara and Tom Dooley for your generosity and visionary gift.
I am delighted and honored to be named the incumbent David J. Green Professor of Medicine. Words cannot adequately express my gratitude for the support of this generous endowment. It's particularly gratifying as a physician-scientist who has spent over 25 years in academic medicine to be recognized as a recipient of this magnitude of generosity.
The quality of life of the population is greatly dependent on the quality of care provided by the professionals taking care of them. This care is inherently improved thanks to better trained doctors who have access to the latest advances in the medical field and enhanced knowledge of how to deliver that care. I believe that with this gift, we will be able to train our students and trainees in primary care medicine and continue to find innovative solutions in the practice of medicine.
North Shore University Hospital would morph eventually into Northwell Health, expanding to become one of the largest healthcare systems in the country. Little did I know that the rheumatology division would grow from one person to a service line program of over 60 rheumatologists and rival the premier programs around the country. Little did I know that I would become a professor of medicine at our own medical school and travel the world lecturing in over 30 countries.
It is with heartfelt gratitude that I express my appreciation to the Simons Foundation for your philanthropic gift to establish and expand disease prevention research programs at the Feinstein Institutes and across the health system. I am proud and humbled to be named the inaugural Simons Foundation Distinguished Chair in Clinical Research, a position made possible by this generous gift.
As the co-director of the Institute for Bioelectronic Medicine at the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research, I look forward to working with Dr. Kevin Tracy and the leaders here at Northwell Health to develop novel therapies and clinical trials centered on the emerging field of bioelectronic medicine to improve clinical outcomes in liver disease, metabolism and alcohol, obesity and addiction, gastrointestinal cancers, inflammatory bowel disease, and the neural regulation of disease and cancer.
The recently established Northwell Health Cancer Institute and the Institute of Cancer Research at the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research are poised to develop national class programs in cancer clinical trials, genomic medicine, and translational laboratory science that will, in real time, benefit the patients we serve in the extraordinarily diverse neighborhoods they call home.
Little did I know that our fledgling clinical research program, which was created in the early 1990s based upon my prediction that biologics would transform medical care, would be so successful. Our research program, known as the Program in Novel Therapeutics, has become internationally recognized. Little did I know that I would have an endowed professorship like my mentors of the past.
This involves applying big data roadmaps which exist and were created by the Cancer Genome Atlas that have been funded by the National Cancer Institute, and animal models and mechanistic insights, building teams to examine and extend basic research studies to clinical trials. In the end, my goal is to cure and end these cancers and improve the lives of patients suffering from them.
My career as a clinical researcher has been inspired by my own life. Diagnosed in childhood with type 1 diabetes and observing inequities in care firsthand for my 45 years to date living with the disease. As a researcher, my goals have been to discover and implement interventions that have demonstrable impact on high-risk populations and to close health equity gaps in prevalent chronic conditions. There is much to be done.
Nearly 20 years ago, Leonard Letwin and Donald Zucker collaborated in a vision to create a research enterprise that would facilitate the cure for Alzheimer's disease by integrating the very latest in molecular and cell biology with state-of-the-art clinical approaches. The provided endowment will continue to facilitate the recruitment and development of the best young scientific minds in the field. And most importantly, it will provide me with the freedom to dream big and continue our fight against this devastating illness.
This most meaningful endowment significantly enables and empowers us across Northwell Health to truly make a difference in our continued and ongoing mission to deliver the very best compassionate patient care, effective education, and innovative musculoskeletal research. Our unique ability to train the very best next generation of physicians, improve the outcomes of individuals crippled by arthritis and injury, and academically innovate in the laboratory and at the bedside is greatly impacted by the Dooley Family Foundation confidence and support.
The funding of our efforts to sustain this momentum is derived to a large extent from visionary philanthropists, and on behalf of Northwell Health, I am deeply indebted to the Carol and Arnold Wolowitz Foundation.
Throughout my career in medicine, I have served as a primary care doctor, educator, clinician investigator, and in diverse leadership roles, including division chief and senior associate dean of diversity and inclusion at various major academic institutions. This award will afford me the opportunity to leverage that experience to lead the Department of Medicine's large and dynamic group of clinicians, educators, and researchers to deliver the highest quality of care and build a culture of academic excellence.
Your gift will be used to fund new approaches to cancer immunotherapy at the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research as we continue to push the boundaries of innovation in reducing the cancer burden in our community, the nation, and the world.
I believe that with this gift, we will be able to train our students and trainees in primary care medicine and continue to find innovative solutions in the practice of medicine. Thank you again for your support. Sincerely, Joe Canigliaro.
I am tremendously grateful to David J. Green and the Green family for this extraordinary support of my scholarship and leadership in academic medicine and healthcare. Thank you, Saeed.
A most sincere thank you again to the Simons Foundation for your vision and investment in the promise of prevention and the impact scientific discovery and prevention will afford the health of the population as a whole and high-risk populations in particular. Felicia.
To my generous benefactors, thank you for your commitment and efforts in partnering with us as this torch lit by you is passed from one generation of scientists to another to recognize the past discoveries, but also, and more importantly, to continue to support the research on Alzheimer at Northwell Health in this exciting new era of technological innovations. Thank you, Philip.
Susan, thank you for your help and commitment in partnering with us to give the world a new kind of medicine. With sincerest thanks and appreciation, Lopa.
With sincerest thanks and appreciation, Nick Scaglione.
Yours very sincerely and respectfully, Jeff.
On behalf of myself, faculty of my division, my research staff, and the whole Northwell family, I sincerely express our gratitude for the creation of this endowment. Sincerely, Richard.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Lawrence Smith, Executive Vice President and Physician-in-Chief at Northwell Health and Dean of the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell. Tonight's celebration recognizes profound impact of endowment on the field of medicine. As philanthropists, you support research. Many of you watching are the reason our clinicians, researchers, and educators are able to look at healthcare differently. Your support fuels their innovation, which helps save lives. Our ability to meet the healthcare needs of the community we serve is unrivaled. Your generosity, coupled with our vast team of experts, makes this possible. Support for research helps us attract world-class talent to Northwell Health, and in turn, these renowned physicians and scientists bolster the learning experience for our students at the Zucker School of Medicine, where the faculty comprises more than 3,500 nationally and internationally recognized medical educators, clinicians, and scientists who represent a vast number of diverse specialties and a wide range of research interests. Over the past 18 months, the world has seen our research strength at work. How did we get there? because of the belief of donors like yourselves who are supporting the endowed chairs and professors, because of patients who trusted our health system, and because of the researchers, clinicians, and educators who are driven to discover new treatments and work tirelessly to deliver exceptional care. So it's time. Let's now celebrate the people who are exemplars of our mission. It is my honor to gratefully acknowledge our benefactors and to highlight and celebrate those whose discovery of new knowledge can change the world. So the first endowed chair, the Carol and Arnold Wolowitz Professor of Cancer Research, is endowed by Carol Wolowitz to honor her late husband Arnold and to fund in perpetuity this position at Northwell Health. Carol has long supported Northwell Health, is a founding member of the Partners Council for the Katz Institute for Women's Health, and a lifetime member of the North Shore University Hospital Auxiliary. Conferred to Dr. Jeff Boyd, this endowment will propel cancer research forward at the Feinstein Institutes and the Northwell Health Cancer Institute. Dr. Boyd joined Northwell Health last year. He is a renowned expert in cancer genetics research and clinical molecular diagnostics with over 30 years of experience. His work is focused on developing a state-of-the-art clinical cancer molecular diagnostics laboratory at the Cancer Institute using next-generation sequencing technology to deliver point-of-care genomic testing for cancer patients. And that will be a major advance in the field. Congratulations, Dr. Boyd, the Carol and Arnold Wolowitz Professor in Cancer Research. And next, we have the inaugural Simons Distinguished Chair in Clinical Research. It's endowed by the Simons Foundation, one of the country's leading private funders of basic scientific research. This gift aims to advance the frontiers of research in mathematics and basic science. This endowment is conferred to Dr. Felicia Hill Briggs. In her newly appointed position, Dr. Briggs is working to establish and expand disease prevention research and care programs at the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research and across Northwell Health. As a clinical psychologist and behavioral scientist, Dr. Hill Briggs' focus is on large-scale and personalized clinical trials centered around behavioral change to improve outcomes, self-management, particularly in diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Congratulations, Dr. Hill Briggs, the Simon Distinguished Chair in Clinical Research. The Manuel H. and Claire Barron Professor of Medicine is endowed by Manuel H. and Claire Barron. After Manuel suffered a stroke in 2016, the couple established the Manuel H. and Claire Barron Stroke Unit at North Shore University Hospital in gratitude for the care he received. Additionally, their generosity allowed Northwell to build the Manuel H. and Claire Barron Cardiac Catheterization Laboratory, one of the most advanced interventional cardiology laboratories in the United States at the Sandra Atlas Bass Heart Hospital. This inaugural endowment is conferred to Dr. Joseph Canigliaro. Dr. Canigliaro is responsible for driving the Department of Medicine's academic mission, clinical excellence, teaching, and research. He has a strong legacy of mentoring junior faculty and fellows who have successfully obtained peer-reviewed independent grant funding. Through his research, Dr. Canigliaro is developing evidence-based tools and best practices for providers to better care for their patients, of which I am one. He embodies our mission to teach the next generation of healthcare professionals and advance care for our patients. And so congratulations to Dr. Canigliaro, the Manuel H. and Claire Barron Professor of Medicine. The Marilyn and Barry Rubenstein Chair in Rheumatology is endowed by Marilyn and Barry Rubenstein, who have been passionate supporters of Northwell Health for decades and have given generously to capital projects that help build Long Island Jewish Medical Center into a destination healthcare facility. The Rubensteins also funded the Marilyn and Barry Rubenstein Professor in Cancer Research, held by Dr. Lewis Potters since 2020. This inaugural endowment is conferred to Dr. Richard Allen Fury, the Chief of the Division of Rheumatology at Northwell Health and a professor at the Institute of Molecular Medicine at the Feinstein Institutes. Dr. Fury is focused on patient care, physician education, and clinical research in the area of anti-rheumatic drug development and clinical trial design, specifically in the treatment of systemic lupus and related diseases. He directs the program in novel therapeutics, Northwell Health's clinical research program in musculoskeletal disease, and the SLE and Autoimmune Disease Treatment Center, which has become internationally recognized for its role in the development of new therapies for rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, and systemic lupus. Dr. Fury led the largest and first successful clinical trial for lupus nephritis, the result of which led to belimumab becoming the first drug ever approved by the FDA to treat lupus nephritis. This year, the FDA approved anifrolumab for patients with systemic lupus, a research program for which he was the global principal investigator. Congratulations to Dr. Fury, the Marilyn and Barry Rubenstein Chair in Rheumatology. The David J. Green Professor in Medicine was endowed by Helen and Alan I. Green in honor of Alan's father. The Green family was among the original philanthropists to support the creation of North Shore University Hospital and have championed emergency medicine at North Shore for more than 2 decades. The Green Emergency Center, named in their honor, is an American College of Surgeons Level 1 trauma center and a New York State certified stroke center. In 1998, their support spurred the hospital's first expansion to accommodate the increased volume and complexity of patients requiring acute care. In 2020, the Greens made a gift to further support advanced care at North Shore. Alan has been a trustee of Northwell Health since 1973, and Helen is an associate trustee. The endowment is conferred to Dr. Saeed Ibrahim, who is our newly recruited chair of the Department of Medicine and the senior vice president of the Medicine Service Line. Dr. Ibrahim is a National Institutes of Health funded physician scientist. His research on racial ethnic variation in the use of knee and hip replacement in the management of end-stage osteoarthritis has been federally funded for more than 20 years. He has mentored dozens of physicians and investigators and is a recipient of the NIH K24 Award to mentor future generations of investigators on patient-centered research in healthcare disparities. He has served as associate editor of the American Journal of Public Health and a member of the Journal of General Internal Medicine's editorial board. He is currently the associate editor for JAMA Health Forum. Congratulations and welcome, Dr. Ibrahim, the David J. Green Professor in Medicine. The Leonard Litwin and Donald Zucker Professor of Geriatric Psychiatry was endowed by Leonard Litwin and Donald Zucker in 2004. Through the generosity and vision of Leonard and Ruth Litwin and Donald and Barbara Zucker, the Litwin-Zucker Center for the Study of Alzheimer's Disease and Memory Disorders was established at the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research 17 years ago. The center is devoted to researching Alzheimer's disease at every level. This endowment is conferred to Dr. Philippe Marambourg. Dr. Marambourg's research focuses on the molecular basis of neuronal degeneration in Alzheimer's disease. His laboratory studies the early biomedical changes leading to the formation of 2 classic lesions of the Alzheimer brain, the senile plaques and the neurofibrillary tangles. Congratulations to Dr. Marambourg, the Leonard Litwin and Donald Zucker Professor of Geriatric Psychiatry. Next, we have the Susan and Herman Marinoff Distinguished Chair in Translational Medicine. Endowed by Susan Marinoff, Susan and her late husband Herman have been instrumental in the growth of the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research. Their generosity also includes the endowment of the Susan and Herman Marinoff Center for Patient-Oriented Research and support of the Palliative Care Medicine Program and Heart Rhythm Center at Lenox Hill Hospital. This endowment is conferred to Dr. Lopa Mishra. Dr. Mishra has a background in translational medicine and cancer. Her focus is on developing novel therapies and clinical trials centered on the emerging field of bioelectronic medicine to improve clinical outcomes in liver disease, metabolism, addiction, GI cancers, inflammatory bowel disease, and neuroregulation of disease and cancer. Congratulations to Dr. Mishra, the Susan and Herman Marinoff Distinguished Chair in Translational Medicine. The inaugural Maureen Martocci Professor of Orthopedic Surgery is endowed by Thomas and Barbara Dooley. The Dooley Family Foundation contributions to the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research have strengthened research efforts across Northwell Health, including the discovery of new breakthroughs in the field of bioelectronic medicine. The Maureen Martocci Professor of Orthopedic Surgery is named in honor of Dr. Thomas Morey and his wife, May Martocci. Dr. Morey recently retired as our Vice Chairman of Orthopedic Surgery, and this professorship was established in recognition of his distinguished service to Northwell Health. This endowment is conferred to Dr. Nicholas A. Scaglione. Dr. Scaglione is a nationally recognized expert in sports medicine and serves in numerous roles outside of Northwell Health, including as Medical Director for Hofstra University Athletics, as an honorary police surgeon for the NYPD, and a consultant to the United States Ski Team and the U.S. Professional Golf Association. For almost 14 years, Dr. Scaglione has been recognized in Best Doctors of New York State and Best Doctors of America. Congratulations, Dr. Scaglione, the Maureen Martocci Professor of Orthopedic Surgery. The inaugural Margaret Crotty and Rory Riggs Clinical Chair in Nursing is endowed by Margaret Crotty and Rory Riggs. Champions for our healthcare institutions in Manhattan, Margaret and Rory have supported capital projects at Lenox Hill Hospital, Lenox Health Greenwich Village, and Meath. Margaret is a member of the Northwell Health Board of Trustees, co-chair of the Northwell Health Board of Overseers, and a member of the Western Regional Executive Council, on which she has served since 2016. The Margaret Crotty and Rory Riggs Clinical Chair in Nursing is the first nursing endowment in Northwell's history, and one of a few in the country. It will directly support the extraordinary work of Northwell's nurses and continues our efforts to advance health equity in our communities. This endowment is conferred to Maureen White. As Northwell Health's nursing leader, Maureen is at the helm of our 19,000 nurses, many of whom work at our 9 magnet hospitals, the highest honor in nursing excellence and quality patient care. She led our team throughout the COVID-19 pandemic as they played an integral role in refining treatments for COVID patients. Awarding the first endowed chair in nursing is a fitting way to honor all of our dedicated nurses. With this inaugural endowment, Ms. White will be conducting research on underserved populations to better understand and measure the social determinants of health. She will also focus on further diversifying Northwell's nursing workforce through education and scholarship to ensure that we are all a true reflection of the communities we serve. Congratulations, Maureen White, the Margaret Crotty and Rory Riggs Clinical Chair in Nursing. This is an incredibly distinguished and historic group of honorees, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. For all of us at Northwell Health, I want to say congratulations to all our newly conferred chairs and professors. A special thank you again to all our generous benefactors who made these endowments possible. And now I'll hand it back over to Brian for a very special conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. There's a well-known quote by the Dalai Lama that illustrates the impact of philanthropy very well. Just as ripples spread when a pebble is dropped into water, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects. I now have the distinct pleasure to introduce you to 3 remarkable people whose partnership will have a ripple effect on understanding the social determinants of health through the inaugural Margaret Crotty and Rory Riggs Clinical Chair in Nursing, which has been awarded to Northwell's Chief Nurse Executive, Maureen White. Thank you guys for being here tonight. So Margaret and Rory, let me begin by saying not just thank you for being here tonight, but thank you for your support of Northwell and this endowed chair that we're going to talk about. You are both deeply invested in Lenox Hill Hospital, and now you've established a first of its kind at Northwell. This endowed chair is very special. It's perhaps one of just a few in the entire United States, and it'll further our mission in health equity research throughout nursing. Why was creating this chair in nursing so important for you?
Oh, I will go. Maureen's obviously a huge part of this and what her vision is, but to me, nursing is 25% of the employee base at Northwell, and anything we could do to get them recognized as being sort of the heartbeat of the whole organization is just really an exciting moment for us.
It was also really strategic, I think, and when you think about two of the biggest priorities, quality of care, and the nurses are the backbone of the quality of care metrics that we have, and that's why the magnets are so important. But also, Northwell's all about its people, and the nurses are, represent all of the richness of all of the different kinds of diversity that we care about. And it's also women leadership and at its finest, and so that meant a lot to us.
Congratulations on being named. You're the inaugural Margaret, Crotty, and Rory Riggs Clinical Chair in Nursing.
Thank you very much, Brian.
It's, I know from us talking quite a bit about this is an exciting opportunity for advancing nursing at Northwell. You've spoken about how important nursing is to our population health efforts. How will this endowment make a difference in the nursing workforce's ability to help the underserved populations that we serve?
Absolutely, this endowment will make a tremendous difference. I want to start, though, by extending my heartfelt thanks and deep, deep appreciation and gratitude to both Margaret and Rory for establishing this endowment. It means so much to me because it really embraces all the reasons why I went into healthcare. To help those that can't help themselves, to help those that are perhaps not as advantaged as many of us, and to be able to supply support to those individuals. This nursing, when it relates to this endowment and nursing in general, over the centuries, nursing has had a rich history in public service and in public health initiatives. And this endowment will allow us to continue that rich history and build upon it, focusing on not just general populations, but most specifically for the underserved and underrepresented populations. During the pandemic, we all have seen, unfortunately, in too much detail, and just how underserved and underrepresented populations suffered the greatest during this time. With this endowment, we will use these funds from this endowment to heighten our knowledge in the effects of social determinants of health on the health and health outcomes that we see in these populations. So it is just enormous, the things, when I look ahead of the things that we can do with this endowment due to your generosity. It's just heartwarming to me, and again, I cannot thank you enough for this opportunity to shine this light on the important role that nursing plays in healthcare, and to give us this opportunity to make a difference in the populations that we serve. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Margaret, you have devoted, as we heard earlier, much of your life's work towards tackling challenges of health and education inequities and their effects on children and families. You've had a pretty remarkable impact locally and globally as well. How did you choose this path? Why are you so passionate about it?
It's always humbling to talk about this in places where Northwell staff are, but I think I'd start with sort of the public health approach. It's really interesting and inspiring. You can identify a problem, you can try, you have a hypothesis, you try solutions, you test them, you evaluate, you measure, and then you scale what works. And that's a really good answer, except that I think really at the end of the day, it's because all of this, the healthcare and people and inequities and disparities, it's all about relationships with people. And it's all about the way we show up in the world and how we can contribute both to the causes and the solutions of all these inequities. And so at the end of the day, it's about relationships. It's about getting to know people and really about your own self-reflection. And so I've just found it to be so rewarding. And in any job I've ever had, I know that I've gotten more from those relationships than I've ever been able to give. And I think, just to put a finer point on it, that's what nurses do every day.
Good point. Rory, just to follow on, that we talked about Margaret's interest, but I do know that as we talked about this at dinner one night, it was pretty meaningful for you as well.
You've been a patient.
I'm not a patient, but it's kind of self-evident. If you're 25% of the workforce, you have a different view of healthcare than everybody else. And so this whole idea that Maureen has of doing this study on social determinants of health is totally a nurse's view. The totally view of the people who come in every day and you see every day and realize that the healthcare isn't about one big thing. It's really about a blend of these patients who come in every day. And it's really just inspiring to hear you talk about it.
Thank you.
Well, I want to follow up on that, Maureen. So you started to get into this a little bit, but a lot of this conversation is about the social determinants of health and making sure that someone's zip code doesn't really determine what happens with them. Can you talk a little bit more how this is going to be connected into that space?
Nursing is built on those relationships of really understanding where an individual is coming from and trying to address their needs and their concerns and their wants and their wishes. And we hear that, the nurses will interact with those patients on a continual basis and learn what seem to be little tidbits, but important elements that could help us to drive their treatment regimens, understanding of how compliant they might be able to be in those treatment regimens, and altering that course to make sure that we're providing them with the best opportunities for wellness and health as we go along. So we'll use it to further educate our nursing workforce, both on the inpatient and ambulatory side and home care side, and really break down those silos between those three and have them look at healthcare as a continuum of care. It's really just pretty much never the fact that people are ill because they just don't care. They do, but they may not have had the wherewithal in order to receive the kind of health care that they needed or wellness opportunities that they should have. And so nursing, through the education, will educate our nursing workforce. Through their observations and their interactions with the patients and their families, we'll gain a greater understanding of their social determinants of health. We'll be able to collect that information and that data, dissect it, understand it better, and to help us as a health system determine how can we enhance and improve the cares and services that we provide to these various communities, and how can we enhance their welfare, their health and welfare as they move forward along that continuum. I think that's so important because, as you stated, no one's health and wellness should be determined by their zip code, by their education, by their socioeconomic background, or by their ethnicity. We are better than that. We need to focus on those things to make sure that doesn't happen.
Congratulations again on being named the inaugural Margaret Crotty and Rory Riggs Clinical Chair in Nursing. Rory and Margaret, thank you again very much. Margaret, congratulations on being the incoming board chair. I look forward to a lot of fun with that. Thank you both. Maureen, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both very much, really.
This concludes our 2021 Celebration of Excellence. Thank you to Michael Dowling and Dr. Smith, and especially Margaret Crotty, Rory Riggs, and Maureen White. Congratulations to our newly endowed chairholders and professors, and a very special thank you to the donors who made it all possible this year. Manuel and Claire Barron, Margaret Crotty and Rory Riggs, Tom and Barbara Dooley, in honor of Dr. Tom Maury and his wife May Martocci, Helen and Alan Green, Leonard Litwin and Don Zucker, Susan and Herman Marinoff, Marilyn and Barry Rubenstein, the Simons Foundation, and Carol and Arnold Wolowitz. Because of you, together we will give the world a new kind of medicine. So until next year, when we'll see you in person, please stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you for joining us, and good night.